Hello, I'm Lila, Unique Allen, and this is the Life in Runes weekly reading for the general population. Let's get started by settling in. Blow out all your air. Yes, so it feels like you're kind of don't have anything left. And let it go. And see how it just inhales automatically. It's one of those metaphor for life things. You can get your air back now. And exhale. And settle into your seat. And inhale through your nose gently, easily. And hold it for a second, feeling it expand into all parts of your body. And exhale through your mouth. Feeling everything kind of contract as the air moves through. Again, inhale through your nose. Follow the breath in through the back of the throat and down into the lungs, into the diaphragm, into your fingers and toes. And exhale through the mouth. Feeling all those grungy bits dissipate as you blow them away. And one more time, inhale. Bringing your attention to this time and this place. And exhale all the outside distractions. And as you keep your attention here, your body will breathe on its own, as we have seen. It will take care of you. So let it do what it's good at doing. And let's see what the universe supplies us in terms of advice, questions, thoughts for the week. I find it interesting that now that my readings are covering more than one day at a time, I'm more likely to get more than one rune at a time. And the runes for this week are Eihwaz and WunjoR reversed, right on top of each other. The placement can often play an important part in readings, especially when you're doing a lot of runes, so that they're close together, usually read from bottom to top. I personally do this far side is the past, moving into the future, also bottom to top, past to future. So it depends whether it's a single reading or multiple readings, and like any reading, a lot of it depends on the interpretation that pops into my brain. So this could mean these two are two separate issues, two separate things to think about, or it could mean that they are kind of in direct relation to each other. What works out here is going to affect what happens up there in a straight line. So let's see what comes. And I will focus in first on Eihwaz, which we've had many times, so I imagine that you're already reciting the bits of Eihwaz to yourself. Eihwaz is the hunter between the worlds, or the hunter, the walker between the worlds. Eihwaz is a balance between two worlds that don't communicate well with each other. Eihwaz could be the ambassador between two countries. the translator. Eihwaz could be the mediator, or somebody who, the teacher, anyway. Teacher is very much an Eihwaz, because the teacher knows so much about one world and is trying to impart that information to many other worlds, students, classes, minds, and trying to balance the bits between all the glory and all the information of the one world and how it's going to be received by all the students, what they can grasp depending on what level they're at, what ideas or ideals will spark in them and what will turn them off. So teachers, yes, very much that walker between worlds, trying to balance the wonder of the one world and disseminate it into palatable information to all the other worlds he or she is trying to reach. So, that is Eihwaz. What can that mean for us this week? Since it is pretty close to straight up and down, I think it is definitely time to start melding worlds together. For many of the previous readings, if you're doing this in chronological order, it has been keep the worlds separate, let each one be its own thing, and let it revel in its differentness, let them all work separately. Now it is time to pull them together, if that is still the situation you are working with. Now is time to bridge the communication gaps. Now is time to pull those two worlds together, perhaps as a teacher or as a provider, a translator, or a manager who has different project heads and is now bringing the people back together. So this would be a good week for a board meeting or everybody to get together and speak their piece. Recitals, graduations, this is the time when all the little bits come together. Directors for plays. Maybe there's a play coming up this week. Maybe you're trying to decide when to get everybody together for the first everybody rehearsal. Now is the time. So, Eihwaz, while originally just the hunter in the Viking days, really does mean that person, or at least in this reading, who is the bridge between worlds, who crosses from one to the other, who takes both those worlds into account and knits it all together to create a cycle that works between watching the game and the animal kingdom and knowing how it rotates, not taking too much, not taking too little, and providing for the village, knowing its cycle, knowing how it rotates, not giving too much, not giving too little. Balancing, weaving those two cycles together. So for us, Eihwaz, what things is it time to weave together? If the question in your head is it time, then the answer is probably yes. If you're looking at a whole bunch of different things and trying to figure out what to do next, perhaps the answer is, can they be woven together somehow? Can they be connected? Can they communicate with each other? Can they meld? It is time for the mind to meld. Interestingly enough, while we're doing all this busy work and focusing on these worlds, it is not time yet to discuss, to look into, perhaps to leave our little zones and join our clans. WunjoR is the pennant. It is the clan festival. It has this interesting P shape, which is always confusing if you're a rune reader and you think it's Perthro instead of WunjoR. Because they used to put flags at the big gatherings when, families would go and travel and go to their countries or their homes, and then they would get together once a year to remember that they were all family and all one nation or whatever. And so they would have their flags, their standards, their tartans, whatever, flying high so that everybody could see where their particular people were, which tent to go to, which area of the field. And yes, the pennants also, show who won the games. But really it was, and even without the gathering, to show you who was in residence, so you know whether or not to go to the castle. So, but for most cases, WunjoR, in my interpretations, is the people you wish to gather around, the people you wish to celebrate, the people that you share your good news with and the news that's more distressing, the people that you want to seek comfort with, the people that you want to go out and party with on a Saturday night. WunjoR is your clan, your tribe. Sometimes it does include the family, the immediate family, the people you are obligated through being raised in years and years of tradition to go hang out with. And sometimes it means the people that you prefer to hang out with or that you've chosen on your own, not saying that you don't prefer to hang out with your family. But either way, regardless, this week the WunjoR is reversed, which indicates that now is not the time to call in the family, to celebrate successes or even ideas. Now is not the time to go out and take a break with your peeps, because now is the time to work on this melding. Yes, our people are amazing and very helpful. And especially when we get stuck, it is great to have somebody to discuss it with. But sometimes, I don't know if this happens to you, but often I get this great idea and I go out and talk about it, and then it's like, yeah, and that's not really something I want to do anymore. So now is the time to stay in your lab and madly mix your formulas together, to finish the drawing, or to put together the outline, or to really work on whatever this project or melding is. And not so much to run out, hang out, go be with others that are in the celebration phase. Because this is the work phase. It is a trial, and sometimes the focus, if we keep the focus on the project instead of dispersing it through talk, through discussion, through allowing other people's perceptions in, sometimes that doesn't work, because we're trying to build something here and we have it in our heads and we know what it is, and if we open the door and let other voices in, our translation can get lost. Our perceptions can get lost. The glorious whatever that is just on the horizon fades back again, because it is being obscured by the words, thoughts, ideas, and perceptions of the people that we love the most. They are not wrong, but they have different perceptions. And it seems to me that in this month of play and excitement and trying things out, this is about bringing fruit to our perceptions. So, that feels like the end of that. I hope that made sense. To sum up, this is a good week to bring all the little parts together. This is a good week to do the overview, or time, if you are watching this video simply for whatever purpose. It doesn't have to be just for a week. It could be a day, it could be a month, it could be a year. This is a good time to see if the parts can communicate, to see how they cycle together, to see how it all works. This is a good time to have the recital or to bring the group together for the first time. This is a good time to have your board meeting, to basically to bring the parts together. See what fits and see what doesn't. Not such a good time to go running to your friends and family and say, look what this awesome thing I'm doing, simply because it can help fog the idea, the flow. This may be a good time to lock yourself in your basement and just get it done. So, thank you very much. And I hope you have a great day.